Thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here,
So,
Elias. It's such a
uh,
pleasure to talk to you.
you too. Exciting times. We have Guns N' Moses. I can't wait for the viewers to watch. I watched it a couple days before I spoke to Dermot and Sal. Also, how excited are you that people are going to get just more people get a chance to see this film?
I'm so excited for people to see this film. As an actor, you're considering everything from the story you're telling to the role you're playing to the message the movie might bring to the world. And I think on all three fronts, we got a great one here. It's a great story. It's like Chinatown meets The Chosen. I got a
Right.
great character who gets to be, funny and dramatic and heartwarming while also being a badass action hero.
That's what I
And
like.
there's a great message here, which is, at one point in the movie, when it feels like we're isolated, being terrorized by a neo-Nazi, and one patron of our community, played by Dermot Mulroney, is assassinated in the middle of our big gala. Like no one is looking for the real killer. And I say, in a place where there is no man, be the man, quoting a famous Rabbi Hillel. So it's got a great message. It's got a great story. It's got great performances by great actors. There's nothing this movie doesn't have.
That's right. So when you were reading the script, how excited were you when you saw the arc of this character and what he was going to do throughout the film?
I was so excited. When you read an indie script, you don't know
Yeah.
what's coming across your desk. It
Yeah.
can be a terrible script. It can be a great script with very little for you to do. This was a great script with a lot for me to do. I got to learn how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
I got instructed by the director himself, Sal Litvak, and he's part of a community called McDonough. I'm sure he talked to you about that. But the reason is because, we're living in a time where anti-Semitism is up 100 to 200% in this country, and a lot of synagogues feel threatened, and not all of them can afford to have a security guard. So some of them
Mhm.
have to take it upon themselves to learn how to protect themselves. Now, my character, Rabbi Mo, doesn't want to be violent, doesn't want to hurt a living thing. But it's evidenced when his wife says to him, "Are you afraid that you're not going to be able to shoot the gun? Are you afraid you're not going to be able to, you know, to shoot?" And I say, "No, yes, and I'm afraid that I am," because he doesn't want to have to. But he is, it's important to him to protect his family and his community against evildoers, against anti-Semites, and against whatever force in the community, whether it's one of these crooked dealing local yokels or the neo-Nazi. We don't know who it is, but I'm going to figure it out.
Mhm. How did Rabbi Mo, how did you balance like his spiritual core and then his action-driven shift also?
Um, and then his action-driven
Yeah,
stuff.
shift,
Um,
yeah.
well, so to do research for this movie, I actually read a book by Rabbi Joseph Telushkin about the Rebbe, the Menachem Schneerson, and how he built the Orthodox community, the Hasidic community. And he's kind of a brilliant man. Not only is he a wise man and a loving man, but he also was a great PR agent. I mean, he knew how to keep his people together. And also in preparation for the role, there are these beautiful, we call them niguns, a beautiful song, spiritual song. And we have them in the movie at a very pivotal moment when two unlikely forces come together. And that's, kind of what this time is all about. I mean, in the case of current events, the
Yeah.
Jewish community's definitely gotten a lot of support from the Christian evangelical community. Misery makes unlikely bedfellows, they say. And so this movie has that in it too. And I think, in the great tradition of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who marched with Martin Luther King, it's a time in which, yes, we have to protect ourselves, and no, we can't rely on anybody else. But at the same time, we should always be looking outside of our own narrow frame of reference of our own community to see we can connect with outside of our walls, and that's what the movie's all about.
I brought this one scene up to Sam. I wanted to ask you to Sal. I wanted to ask you to the gala scene with the big eruption of the violence and everything. How did you approach Mo's emotional fallout from that scene?
What a great question. It is such a scary moment
Mm,
because, you know, a lot of Jews have awakened to the anti-Semitism that is so prevalent in the world right now. And so you see a rabbi trying to bring a community together. And in a time where there's an epidemic of loneliness in this country, which is not uh, unrelated to social media and the challenges of the modern world, a man who's willing to bring his community together so people have community and love and friendship, um, watch one of his own, in fact, the most generous patron of his synagogue, get gunned down. It's terrifying. And, I have to say that I was invited to see the movie made by the IDF called Bearing Witness about, it was footage from the body cams of the Hamas terrorists. And I saw the lack of respect for human life, the violence and horror of that day, October 7th. And um, when you see people who have been living peacefully on their kibbutzim for so many years, just riled, shocked to see the inhumanity of man in their very, eyes, and for me to then see it, you realize the importance of standing up for yourself, trying to defend yourself, not resting on your laurels that anyone is going to protect you, but also um, how important it is to love and show kindness, and that's what this movie's all about, and the importance of telling stories so we remember to never forget, and also the importance of great stories and great movies like this one.
mm. How often did you and Sal bounce back and forth to the ideas about how you were going to play Rabbi Mo?
Well, we first met in a sukkah on his property, which is a bamboo shack that
Okay.
Jews build on the holiday of Sukkot. And we met to talk about this character. And I just expressed to him how thrilled I was to play a character who was comedic, dramatic, an
Yeah.
action hero, all of it. And from the first reading, he had a little trust in me. There were moments where, maybe we turned it up a little more, maybe we turned it down a little more. But throughout, I think we each had faith in the other, that we knew the story we were telling. And I knew,
Mm.
and that I had ownership of the character of Mo from my research, from my reading, from my learning how to shoot a gun, and from casting even friends to be in the movie, from my buddy Mike Silver to Paula Costanzo, who played my brother on Royal Pains.
Yeah. I've spoken to him before. Great guy.
Yeah, great guy, great guy. And he was kind enough to fly out to California and help us make this movie. And then to get to work with guys like Dermot Mulroney and Neal McDonough, who are so fabulous in it. And I know Neal, loves to make movies that honor his faith,
Yeah.
because that's what his company does. And it was such a perfect alliance and match because he lent that faith, that passion to our movie, which is about a different faith.
Mm. I don't want to talk a lot about spoilers because I want people to go and watch this too. But there's a moment where like Mo discovers a key evidence that forces like his starts thinking about everything that's been going on around him and everything. Like, what do you think that discovery meant for Mo?
Um, well, I think what's beautiful about Rabbi Mo is that he won't rest at the lowest common denominator, simple solution. And I can't
Mm.
get too specific without,
Okay.
I don't want to alleviate the audience of any suspect that
Yeah.
might have committed the crime, but there's an obvious one or two that um, would be easy to settle on. And if Rabbi Mo did, then this other element of corruption would just get away with it. It's because of Rabbi Mo's desire to find the truth, to ask questions, to have a certain amount of faith in certain characters' humanity, and a discerning lack of faith in certain others that leads him to the right choice. I mean, I say this movie is a little bit of a cross between Chinatown and The Chosen, if that's not too old a movie to reference. And I'm the Jake Giddies of this movie, and I love that I get to play an unwitting detective, a reluctant hero who will not stop until he finds the truth.
You've played so many great characters. Where does Rabbi Mo rank for you?
It's up there. It
Yeah.
really is up there. I mean, I love getting to play Dr. Hank Lawson. I loved getting to play um, characters like Cliff Calley in The West Wing. I love that I got to play opposite Toni Collette in Her Shoes. But Rabbi Mo is the full catastrophe, the full
Mhm.
enchilada of the human experience. And so to get to play a character who also, honors my Jewish pride
Right.
as someone who grew up in New York as a proud Jew, was bar mitzvahed, has had my kids bar and bat mitzvahed, and is a supporter of Israel. It's wonderful at this time, at this very complicated time, to be Rabbi Mo.
I'm going to throw a curveball out there for you. If there was ever a sequel or a continuation of the story, where do you want to see Mo?
Oh my God, great question. Let's throw Mo into the middle of the fire. Let's send him to Israel and see what he's got to do there. Or let's send Mo to Hoboken, New Jersey. Or let's send Mo to Ghana in Africa, where
There
he's
you go.
trying to build a Jewish community there, because this guy loves all human beings and is curious about all human beings. So it don't matter where you put Rabbi Mo,
There you
he's
go.
gonna do what he's gonna do.
So you want to do a trilogy? Let's just go with that.
Yes, trilogy, correct. I got a lot. I got a lot of ideas. A lot of
You got
ideas,
there you
Elias.
go. There you go. Mark, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today on Press Day. This was great. Like I said, I can't wait for the viewers to check this out.
Thank you so much. It was such a
Thank you.
pleasure to talk to you.